Good morning, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nova, and this is Nova Gnome Creations, and today is WIP Wednesday. So I thought I would hop on here and talk a little bit about what I'm doing today. Let me know what you're doing in the comments. I would love to hear. And let me know what you're drinking this morning. So this morning I am drinking out of my Friends mug. If you've ever watched the show Friends, this is their little coffee shop. And I'm having an interesting concoction. So yesterday I sent my husband this pumpkin spice, it wasn't a latte, but it was like a pumpkin spice cold brew video on Facebook. I want to apologize if you can hear my cat meowing. It is early in the morning and I have the bedroom door shut while I film this, and he is not happy that I shut him out of somewhere. He likes to have full access to everything. So he's not a happy camper. But anyway, so I saw this video on Facebook, and it was like they like blended or food processed together. I think they had like one of those immersion blenders, the one that's like fancy. I've never had one. It's not like the normal handheld one, but it's like one solid like stick thing, and then it has like a blendy thing at the bottom. I don't even know. I think it's called an immersion blender. And they used like actual like pumpkin puree and like all this different stuff to make like this really delicious looking cream to put in it. And then obviously coffee, and I think it was a cold drink. I think it was it was a cold brew. Duh, I just said that. But anyway, I thought it looked good. I was like, I need this. And he's like, I bet they'll be having pumpkin spice things everywhere soon, because I live for pumpkin spice season. Call me basic. I'm a basic biatch. I love my pumpkin spice. So I was like, yeah, they probably are starting to get it already at some places. And then he goes in the kitchen and he's working up something in the food processor, and he comes out and he had made me a what we have in the kitchen pumpkin spice coffee. So cute. And so I have more of the cream that he made. He just put it in an empty creamer bottle. And so I went ahead and made myself another one this morning, just with a K-cup and pouring some of that cream in. And he did like cinnamon creamer and pumpkin spice seasoning, and he did turmeric. He was like thinking of like, Indian coffees. I don't know if you've ever had an Indian coffee. They're so good. They're like warm and spicy. I love spiced drinks. And he put other stuff in it. I don't remember everything he put in it. And then some like cake batter extract and stuff. Like, I don't know. He was just like having fun with it, and it came out delicious. So that is what I'm drinking this morning in a, I think hazelnut K-cup. I am so sorry about him meowing. I really don't know what else I could do about it. My husband's sleeping because it's literally not even 5 a.m. yet. So I shut the door so that I'm not over here just talking and him wake up like, what are you doing? Anyway, for WIP Wednesday, I have revived a sleeping whip, as I have heard said. I had never heard the sleeping whip phrase until recently. But over on Yarn Joy podcast, she has been doing some sleeping whips this month. So that is what I'm calling it. I revived a sleeping whip today. And you may have remembered this if you've went back, because I know a lot of you guys, thank you so much for this, by the way. A lot of you, when you came over, you went back and like binge watched my videos, since I didn't have a whole lot of them yet. And so a lot of you actually probably have seen this cardigan that I was working on. And I appreciate you so, so much. That would, like, not to get off on a tangent, but I never expected people to do that. I went from not really having any viewers to suddenly, like, I have so many supportive viewers that come and they comment on my videos every day and watch, like, everything and just have so many sweet things to say. And I feel like I've just made, like, a lot of friends, and it's been super, super nice. Like, I feel like I found my people. So I appreciate you guys so much. But anyway, you may remember this gorgeousness. It is this beautiful, sparkly yarn, and it is the Pretties Please Sugar Wheel Cotton Sparkle from Yarn Bee. Pretties Please is the name of the color, but it's literally this, I can't help but talk about this yarn every time I talk about this thing, because this yarn is like the reason for this cardigan. And it's sparkly. Lincoln, calm down. I know you're not used to being shut out of places. You guys see that toe bean? You see those little that little paw sticking up? He's like, Mommy, you shut me out of there. So anyways, I was working on this a while back, and then here's there's Lincoln. Here's one sleeve and like part of the torso for it. Now I'm gonna have to pet him because I called him over here. This is why I was like I was hoping he would just stop meowing, but I also don't want him to like be meowing like crazy and like activating everybody else's pets trying to watch this. Hello. You just wanted to say hi, huh? So anyway, I had half of this done, and this was my first wearable that I started. I was very excited about it. I busted out half of it and started the second half, and then it sat for like months. And this was like early in the year that I was working on this. And relatively, you know, early into my crochet journey, especially like, you know, for wearables and whatnot, because amigurumi is a completely different beast. So what happened was a few months back, I picked it up again and I busted out the other side of it. So I have the other side of it sitting here, but I'm currently starting to work on the back of it to bridge the two pieces together. But I have a little bit of a kerfuffle. I don't know if that's even the word that I want, but a little bit of an oopsie. And I noticed it the second I pulled it out of the bag. When I worked on this with two different hooks, guys. This was before I made my handy dandy notebook of keeping crochet notes. And believe it or not, I've never really had this problem before. I just could foresee, now that I'm like down the rabbit hole of crocheting, I could foresee this being a problem. Because before, when I would start a project, I would continue the project until it was done with very little deviating. Like, even if I had multiple projects going at one time, I would like swap between them throughout the week. And so like I knew what hook I was using, I knew what yarn I was using. I didn't really have sleeping WIPs that I would go back to months later and not know what hook I had been using. So yeah, and whenever I did that, and I actually think I remember exactly when I did it. I think I grabbed it as a project to work on when we were out. And I think I worked on like a lot of it that night. Like most of that half of, you know, like the sleeve and that part of the torso. And I didn't even have the other half of it pulled out to notice that these stitches are not the same tension. So here's the first half I did. And then this one is kind of not lined up right now because I'm currently working on, this is where I'm starting to work on extending the back. Trying to figure out the best way to hold it up for you guys. And you can see this is where my rows end, but like you guys can just, you already can see it. You can immediately see the fact that these are not the same size. So one half of this is bigger than the other half. And what I was doing was I'm following a tutorial on YouTube by Passionate, I think it's Passionate Kelsey YouTube. Yes, and that's spelled like passion, but instead of just having an N at the end, it's a K, N-I-T, for passionate. I'm following her Hexagon granny cardigan tutorial, and I'm like writing down tons of notes. As I go, I pretty much am writing down what I'm doing so that in the future I can just do it and not have to pull up the YouTube video every time, unless I, get to a part where I need help. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, right. So what you do for this pattern is you take a hoodie and you measure the sleeve length of like up here on like the bicep area, and you measure it a certain way. So if you're interested in doing it, I would recommend going and watching her video because she actually shows you how. But you measure it and then you get the inches you need, and then that's how long you go with making your sides so that your sleeve will be the right width. So I had mine measured out, and I wanted to do 20 inches for the sleeves. That's the whole like circumference. By the way, you get like, you're going to get like your radius or whatever when you measure it, and then you're going to double it. Because you're going to fold over that piece, and that's what's going to make the sleeve tube. So anyway, I was doing 20 inches. Well, they're roughly 20 inches, both of them. I think that the looseness of the crochet on the side that I used a bigger hook just is like, it's not going to line up perfectly. But they're about 20 inches each, but they don't have the same amount of stitches because one of them has tighter stitches than the other. And I'm like, my options are pretty much to completely start over, because my husband was like, well, I know it sucks, but why don't you just scrap that half that you did and start it over? And I'm like, the issue is I don't know what size hook I was using on the first half either. And obviously I could sit here and go through a bunch of hooks and crochet up a significant amount to start seeing like the tension that it's going to have and see if that looks right. But that's going to be a lot of trial and error, because it's not even just like a few stitches. I would have to crochet up a pretty decent sized swatch in order to like really start to see what the overall like, tension of the stitches is going to look like. And I don't know what size hook I used, like at all. So yeah, basically I would just have to start over completely. And I don't want to start over completely. I have like the majority of it done. So I was like, you know what? This is my first wearable. This is my first cardigan. I'm okay with it being a little bit wonky if I can make it work. But plus I already have one thing that I'm not sure how it's going to come out anyways, is that I'm trying to make a plus size cardigan. And this is not a plus size cardigan tutorial. So I'm just adding inches to, like, in the back, she just does like 3 inches, I think, on both sides. It might be on one side, I can't remember. Like, you add it to the back of each panel and then you put them together. So I'm going to add more inches and just kind of, I'm going to try to wing it and hope for the best of getting it to be kind of a plus size cardigan. So it might not come out anyways, at least not in the way that I'm wanting it to. So I'm just kind of viewing this as a learning experience for me. Like I said, first wearable, like there's a lot of firsts with this. So I'm like, okay, here's my plan. I'm thinking, well, what I'm currently doing is I'm using my 5mm hook, and I was using, I don't remember what was in the bag. I want to say like a 6mm or something. I don't know. I know I wasn't using the hook she was using, because she was using like, I think a 6.5, and I know I wasn't, my first half, it definitely wasn't a 6.5, or if it was, my tension changed a lot over time. So anyways, I switched to a 5mm, and what I'm doing is, these are the stitches that are looser on that other half, but now that I'm working on expanding the back, which starts about right here, I switched to a 5mm hook so that the stitches are starting to be tighter, because what I'm trying to do is shrink them down as I go without taking out any stitches yet, because like I said, I have more stitches on this half of it than I do on the other half. So I'm trying to kind of to make it not look so jarring, I'm trying to slowly start to shrink the stitches as I'm going across, which I think is working out pretty well. And then when I go to connect them in the back, that's where I'm going to have to do a little bit of fudging. I'm going to have to make it work. So hopefully the back doesn't look bad, where I'm trying to lose a couple stitches, or however you want to say it, you know, where I'm trying to connect pieces that don't have the same amount of stitches on them, but they're the same size, you know, so we'll see how that goes. And then once I get that connected, which will be a minute, because like I said, I'm gonna try to add like a significant amount of width, because this is not a plus size cardigan right now. So I'm going to be working on both sides and the back, connecting that together, and then possibly adding some to the front as well. I don't think she does that, but you know, when I'm adding more width, I might need to do that. And then there is, she just goes around with the single crochets basically to do a border. And you can extend the length of the sleeves. It's a pretty good tutorial, actually. I like it. She gives you like all the options, so you can extend the length of the sleeves if you want. I'm just leaving this one short sleeved because I wanted it to be like a springy, light type of cardigan. But you can extend the length of the sleeves, and also there is tutorial with the cuffs if you want to do cuffs, which that's another option. You can do extended length sleeves, and by the way, I'm working on this out of frame, my bad. You can leave extended length sleeves and you can have them be open, you know, more like bell bottomy, or however you want to explain it, but on an arm sleeve, you know, billowy, open, whatever. I'm sure there's a word for sleeves being open like that, but I don't know what it is. And then obviously you extend the back, which she tells you how to do. And then she tells you how to extend the length if you want to extend the length. Like if you want it to be, you know, like a thigh length, or, you know, knee length, whatever you want to do. And then she tells you how to do a border, which, like I said, she said that she just does a simple like single crochet border. But yeah, so while I was looking at the tutorial again this time, seeing what I needed to do next, I saw a suggestion for a campfire cardigan. And I've heard about the campfire cardigan on some other YouTubers' channels where they'll just like mention it. But I saw like the thumbnail for it, and it has a hood. And I'm like, I like hoods. I like hoods a lot. So I'm like, I might have to try that campfire cardigan. But but I did see in the comment section on this tutorial, somebody said if you're trying to make a plus size one, before you close off your sleeves and like connect your sleeves together, that you can continue to crochet only on like the front, back, and bottom or something like that, but like avoiding those sides that are going to be the sleeves, and you can just kind of crochet, you know, back and forth around those parts and turn when you get to the end of where you want to be connecting, and then go and like connect your sleeves and stuff like that, which of course I saw that too late for me to be able to try that. But after, you know, I make this one, whenever I make another one, if I end up doing the same pattern, which I think they're all going to be pretty similar because it's a hexagon granny square cardigan, or not granny square, a hexagon granny stitch cardigan, which is like a pretty basic cardigan, but you know, everyone does things a little bit differently. So I may do a different pattern, I may do the same pattern, I'm not sure yet. But if I do end up doing this one again, or even if I do a different one, I might try that, because she said she's like a 3X and that's what she does. So we shall see. It's one of the things that I'm excited about being able to crochet wearables, is the ability to make things any size that you want for myself and also for other people that I make them for, you know. It's always super nice to have that inclusivity for size ranges, because especially with things like this, you just don't get that, you know, for store-bought. And of course, now that I've been in the crochet community for a little while, I also realize that the store-bought versions of things like this are usually made really inhumane, because they're paying these people like pennies for work that can't be recreated on a machine, because you can't recreate crochet on a machine like you can knitting. So like all those crocheted pieces that you see at like Walmart and stuff, those people are getting paid nothing to do that work. And then, you know, not to mention that it's going to look better if like you make it, or, you know, somebody making like a livable wage off of it makes it, because these people are just like crocheting like madmen, trying to bust out 100 things. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about crochet, though, not to go off on a tangent, is the ability to really customize it, make it whatever size you want, make it, you know, like, and it's not even just about sizing, it's about just customizing. Like, crocheting is so customizable. You can really do whatever you want with it, and make it, you know, personal to you, make it your own, and make it work for you, you know, because you have that ability when you're making something yourself to make it work for you. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on today. If anybody has experienced something similar to this and has any tips, feel free to load me up with your tips in the comments, because I am totally going to be flying by the seat of my pants, winging this and seeing what happens. Lincoln. But, you know, I'm cautiously optimistic that I can figure something out. I'm pretty good at winging it and making things work in general. That's something that I'm actually pretty good at as far as crafting goes, or cooking goes, or anything like that, because of growing up with extremely limited supplies. You know, we weren't the type of family that like went to the craft store and got things for a project. I was in the type of family that I looked at what I had and I came up with a project, because what I had was what I had, and I wasn't going to be able to go get, you know, more things. I wasn't in the Pinterest groups, you know, that type of thing where you saw something cool and you're like, okay, now let me make a list of supplies I need and go buy them. That was not what I did. So I'm pretty good at like working with what I have and making it work. So I'm pretty, you know, cautiously optimistic that if there's a way to make this work, I will figure it out. And that it'll look decent. But if it doesn't, I'm just gonna shrug it off, you know. It's my first one. I know exactly what I did wrong. And that's like one of the big key things, is knowing what you did wrong. Because there's nothing more frustrating than like something coming out wonky and you just have no idea why. You're like, you know, I thought I followed that right. I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I could make it again, but it's just going to come out the same way because I don't know what I did wrong. No, I know exactly what I did wrong, and that was that I didn't keep notes of what size hooks I was using. And it's such a basic thing that's not hard to do. And like I said, I realize the importance of it now. But I realized the importance of it a little too late for this cardigan. So, but I am excited to see what I do with this. And then I realized that I was saying like, oh, you know, I might have my blanket finished by next week because I've got 5 more rows to do. But when you're going around at these later stages of the blanket, those rows take a very long time to do. But, you know, I was like, I think I could probably do it. I forgot that I had like a really busy weekend this weekend. We're doing like a birthday celebration. My husband's birthday was like 2 weeks ago, but some family members had COVID, so we pushed back doing anything for that, and now we're doing like a mashup birthday celebration for like a few people. And then that's Friday, and then Saturday And that'll probably be most of the day Friday because we're going to do like a game night. And then Saturday is my friend's little boy's birthday. And like that was the one that I was talking about, how I got the idea to do the popsicle koozie, the Star Wars popsicle koozie that I designed. That was for that. And his birthday is Saturday, so we're going to be going over there and celebrating with them, which I need to still get popsicles for the popsicle koozie. I also kind of wanted to try making like a little TIE fighter. I found a free pattern for a little TIE fighter, and I was like, that would be cute. A TIE fighter is like this little ship. It's one of the pretty iconic Star Wars ships, so it's probably one that you think of when you think of Star Wars. Oops, I always forget to mute this until it goes off. Goes off in the middle of my videos. But yeah, so I've got quite a full plate this weekend, so I don't know. I'm probably not going to get my blanket done this week. But like I said, I'm actually totally cool with that because I'm really enjoying working on it. I like to work on it while we watch TV, and it's just so relaxing, and I see what this row is going to be, and then I just, spend several episodes doing one row. Because that's how far around it goes now, and I actually love it. I love how relaxing that is, having that, repetitive, but still interesting and cool, working up. I'm down to the very end of this cake, and so it's like extremely flopped in on itself, so I'm trying to make sure I don't tangle the yarn as I do my center pool anymore, because it's not really a center pool anymore, it's like a pile pool. But yeah, and so I might, if I end up doing that TIE fighter, I'll definitely come on here and hang out with you guys and work on it and show you what it looks like. There's some pretty cool patterns for different ships if I want to like pay for a pattern, but I was just looking for like a free pattern. I don't know, I was also kind of tempted to do a Baby Yoda. You know how I made that Baby Yoda lovey in a past video? That was actually for his little brother that was born earlier this year. So same friends. And they all love Star Wars. They're like a very Star Wars loving family. But yeah, this little kid, he is obsessed with Star Wars. I have never seen a kid so knowledgeable of Star Wars in my life. So I think that he's gonna enjoy his birthday presents. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys in the loop on this while I work on it throughout the week. This is my WIP Wednesday, and I'll probably keep working on it throughout the week. I'm also going to work on my blanket, and I'm going to work on that TIE fighter. You never know what I'm going to get into. I'm still working on that hat that I talked about, the little Halloween hat. I really like switching up what I'm working on and keeping it fun. Like if I feel like working on it, then I do, and if I don't, then I don't. And now I keep notes about my hook sizes and stuff, so it's not a big deal. I like having a lot of whips at one time. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this comes together looking like, though. I really hope it works out, because I love this yarn. And I do have more of this yarn, knowing that this was going to be a wearable and that I would probably need more yarn than I usually do for amigurumi. I actually have quite a few cakes of this yarn because I wanted to make sure that I didn't run out and maybe them stop making it or something, because this wouldn't be a yarn that I could just easily go find a replacement to continue it with. It's very specific looking. And I was like, if I have too much, then I'll just make more cool things in that yarn. I really, really like it. So I was not going to be upset about that. So over the course of like maybe a couple of weeks, I hit up Hobby Lobby when they were running their Hobby Lobby like 30% off sales, and I just kind of kept stocking up on it. So if it doesn't come out, I'm actually pretty confident that I have enough yarn to start over and do another one. But I hope it comes out. If it's like a little bit funky, I'll be totally cool with that. Because I'll just be like, it was my first cardigan and I made it and it's sparkly and I don't care. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys are working on for this WIP Wednesday, and thank you for coming to hang out with me. I appreciate all of you, and I hope that you're having a lovely day. We're halfway through the week, so almost to the weekend, if that means anything for you. I don't know what your, work schedule or life schedule is like, and if that means anything. But I still always like to acknowledge that I'm halfway through the week. It's like, I've accomplished half of my week. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.